Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do a bit of a fragrance intervention. A few weeks ago, I dropped a video talking about 10 fragrances for life in real life. Those were 10 fragrances that I happen to have with me, and someone commented and said, hey, there has to be room for 10 fragrances you would get rid of. No? So here we are today. So as you can see, I have a ton of fragrances behind me, and some of the fragrances that would go bye-bye are right here in front of me today. Now, some of them are going to go for various reasons, or would go for various reasons. I'll likely keep them because I'm a hoarder. But no, man, some of them would go for a number of reasons, and I don't wear them at all. So let's go ahead and hop into it. The first fragrance I want to talk about comes from Nishan, and this one is Tuberosa. Now, I first came across Nishan from Dan over at Scent Water. Send me some samples. I keep talking about this story. It's coming to an end. I'm going to stop telling it. But essentially, I blind bought a ton of their fragrances, and this was one of those that I purchased. I am not a fan of this. In fact, this one made me quite nauseous when spraying this fragrance, and I've tried it like twice, maybe 3 times. I'm not a fan of it. This is a fragrance that I will never wear. I'll likely only keep it for reference sake. All right, for someone to say, hey, about Nishan Tuberosa, what are your thoughts? Or how does it last in comparison to something? But aside from that, I will never wear this fragrance. So this one would go bye-bye. Next up, we have a fragrance from a brand that I love, but this one, not so much. The fragrance is that of Europa, and Europa is one of those fragrances that is the saltiness, all right? This fragrance is supposed to be like you're out at sea, and I'm not a fan of Europa. I've tried and tried over the years. It's not that I'm not a fan of it. Let me rephrase that. It's not that I'm not a fan of this scent. It's just that I don't like it. I like other fragrances that are in this vein so much more that I don't find the need to ever wear this scent. Now, I did spray this one on the other day in preparation to record this video, and I was like, yeah, it'll work, but I'm so underwhelmed with this fragrance that I don't think that I would keep it in a rotation. You know, Creed does phenomenal fragrances, but I just dropped the video talking about the top 7 fragrances there for compliments, and if we're looking at it, there are so many other fragrances aside from those in that video that I will place over this one that there will be no need to have this one within a collection. Just like Tuberosa, this one's here for reference sake. And some fragrances that I've gotten rid of from Creed, one would be that of Royal Mayfair. I've purchased that one twice, gotten rid of it twice. I haven't gotten rid of that one yet, but to be completely honest, I'm thinking about purchasing Royal Mayfair again. It just is what it is. All right. Next up, we have a fragrance that is not bad. It's not great, but it just have other fragrances that I would put in the space that I would wear this fragrance, and I do, but it does come in at a good price point. This one comes from the house of Bentley, and this one is Bentley Infinite Rush. Now, I like Infinite Rush as a scent. This is good, but there are other fragrances that fit that fresh environment where I would wear a white t-shirt weather. I would wear this one spring and summer. There are other fragrances that I would be drawn to much more than this fragrance. So therefore, today, I don't wear it. There was a point where I would wear it and I would spray it on and I would talk about this one in cheapy videos. But aside from that, this is still a good cheapy, but not one that I would personally come back to over and over again. So therefore, this is one of those fragrances that I would just toss. I would get rid of it because it's not serving me any purpose. This one doesn't make the drawer, it doesn't make the wall, it doesn't make this area. It's what is tucked over there inside of a drawer that you don't see. So therefore, because of that, it's never going to get worn because it's too difficult to get to, and I likely won't talk about it again unless I go through trying to find those fragrances. But that is all. Not saying that you shouldn't wear it. This one that, based on my collection, is not one that's going to be within the consistent rotation for me. And this next fragrance is one that I'm not a huge fan of either, and I'm a huge fan of the brand, and that one is Bulgari's Aqua Amar. Now, I know that is blasphemy talking about this fragrance of one that I would get rid of, but again, this is not a scent that I find myself going to. I did a video on this one a long time ago talking about the wearability and things of that nature, and it's okay. I can see why people wear this fragrance, but I think about it in the same vein as I think about Europa, and it's not the type of DNA that I'm typically drawn to on a frequent basis. Again, not saying that it's bad. It's just not one that I would consistently go to. If I were getting rid of fragrances, this would be one of those fragrances that I would get rid of if I absolutely had to. All right, Bulgari's Aqua Amar, and there are so many others that Bulgari offers from both their private selection as well as their standard designer selection that I find to be amazing, and I would go for those more so. So as I transition into this next fragrance, this one was discontinued, likely because this is the strongest oud that I've come across within a designer scent. They've really done oud well. In fact, I like this fragrance, but again, when I think of the oud fragrances that I have in my collection, this one doesn't typically compete with those, although the oud is strong, it's there, it's present, but I find others to be more wearable and more enjoyable because I like compliments. But if you're strong into oud, well, this fragrance is for you. And this one is Valentino Noir Absolute Oud Essence. There's a long name there. I had to go back to it to look at it. The presentation on this one is gorgeous, and I call it Valentino Uomo. This is not Uomo. This is just Valentino Noir Absolute Oud Essence. And there's also the Noir Absolute that I have back there. It's in the standard presentation that you would get Valentino Uomo Intense in, but with the gold accents. And the oud here is live, it's well, it smells like a sophisticated fragrance. This fragrance smells like it costs a ton more than it actually did cost, because you're probably going to pay a premium for it today. But nonetheless, if I'm looking across the fleet of oud fragrances that I have within my collection, and I had to go, hey, I'm getting rid of a oud, which one would it be? It would be this one, simply because I don't wear it as much as I wear other oud fragrances within my collection, but that is a solid oud for sure. Now, the midway point on today's list, if you've made it here, then I have a special treat for you. I have a fragrance from the master of seduction himself, which happens to be that of Tom Ford, and this one is Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. Now, I am a huge fan of this fragrance, and you might be saying, so B, why are you trying to get rid of it? You actually had this one as one of the fragrances that was with you for life. Life being 6 months. Yeah, it's here, and I'm going to get rid of it simply because I accidentally purchased 2 bottles. I thought I was purchasing the new Grey Vetiver, but I did not. I purchased this one twice because I already had it, and I said, besides sending it back, let me go ahead and give it away to a loyal viewer out there. So a few things need to happen. You have to be subscribed to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, man. Join the B gang, okay? Drop your boy a like and comment down below. I don't care what the comment is. Just don't say I'm ugly. You can say I'm ugly if you want to. I don't care. Whatever you want to say, just drop that down below, all right? I want to make sure you are engaged in the video. And then really 2 weeks from today, I will come back and give one of you a winner. Worldwide shipping on your boy, because I made a mistake. And, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Who wants to go through the pain of sending this back to the company and saying, hey, I want to change this out, when I could just give it to one of you? Because I've already spent the money. It is gone. Now this one can be yours. So Tom Ford Noir Extreme is one that has to go, and it's going to go to one of you. All right. It's going to be simple. All the details are listed down below, and I've spent enough time on that. Now the next fragrance is one that I was super excited to get, and then I was super disappointed in. And I'm likely one of, I won't say the only people that feel this way, but my feelings are strong on this. And the fragrance comes from the house of Kilian, and this one is Kilian's Dark Lord. Now, I was super excited for Dark Lord looking at its no breakdown. Dark Lord featured rum, cedar, patchouli, pepper, and was also made by Alberto Morales. And I was like, oh, I need it, and I got it. And I'm like, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. And I haven't come back to this one much. And honestly, I'm saying that, and it could be on a lost experience, all right? I don't know how my nose has matured or not matured since I smelled this fragrance. I actually haven't come back to it. I haven't given it many, I don't think, maybe one more wearing. I'm not sure. But I gave this one a mouthful of negative reviews, and I stopped doing negative reviews. But if you guys want to see more of that, then go ahead and talk through it. But I didn't like it. Okay, it was like cool, okay, maybe, and then I came back to it and I was like, no, it's a no-go. It was a no-go for me. But nonetheless, there's going to be someone out there who loves this fragrance, and I've come across many people who do, but it's not one that I have loved. Maybe I'll come back to this one, do like a week of wearing Dark Lord and see what happens there. A week of wearing Dark Lord in the summer, that would be crazy. All right, but Kilian's Dark Lord is on our list today. And someone just hit me up about this next fragrance and said, hey B, where's the review for blank blank? And I was like, I took it down. I took it down. I was not my proudest moment there. Again, I told you I stopped doing negative reviews. The fragrance is none other than Tom Ford Noir Anthracite. This fragrance I am not a fan of. Another one I was super excited with. I got this fragrance early. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be one of the first ones with it. Boom, trash. I hated this fragrance. It's not a fragrance that I enjoy today, and I think they came up with a few others during that same time frame, like a mineral oud or mineral something of that nature. And this one here was not for me. In fact, don't quote me on this, but I don't think this fragrance is around anymore. I don't think you can just walk into a store and pick this fragrance up. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. If you have, let me know. I know a lot of people do enjoy this one, but hey, this one was not for me, and maybe I'll come back to it. I'll do like a week of wearing Noir Anthracite and a week of Dark Lord, but it's a fragrance that would have to go. I don't enjoy it or didn't enjoy it. My wife doesn't enjoy it or didn't enjoy it, and therefore it would have to go. Now this next fragrance, my wife actually picked. She said, hey, you got to put this one on this list, and I said, okay. And the fragrance is none other than Mugler's Pure Leather. I did something on this video. I don't know if it was a full review or I just talked about it, but this one smelled like burnt tar, and it's just not an enjoyable experience. It starts off okay. It's okay. The patchouli's there. It's hidden a bit, but as this thing dries down, this is a no-go. We resprayed this one yesterday just to make sure, and I sprayed it, and I was like, maybe. I'm not sure. And then it dried down, and I was like, I am not a fan of this fragrance, therefore it would have to go. It would not make any more list here. I haven't worn it. It's been sitting there. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that fragrance. Therefore, it would have to go if fragrances were going. And I have beef with this next fragrance. So I did a review on this fragrance and it punched me in the eye. I guess it didn't like what I was saying about it, and it just punch me in the eye. The fragrance comes from Ellis, and this one is Ellis M. Now, one, I'm not a huge fan of how this fragrance smells. There's other fragrances out there in this price point that you could pick up that smell a lot better, in my opinion. But also, it punched me. It punched me in the eye, man. If you have not checked out that video, be sure to do it. I was going to spray it, and it sprayed me right in the eye. Boom, took me down, tried to knock me out for the count, but I bounced back. Took me a few weeks, but I bounced back. All right, all in all, I think Ellis, when it comes down to clothes, if you're looking like entry-level suits or something like that, you know, it's a good place to be. But there are other fragrances that you can pick up that I think within this price range will be a lot better. Therefore, if I was getting rid of fragrances because I have not worn it since we had that fight, I would get rid of it. But it's staying because I'm putting in solitary confinement. It's locked up by itself, and no other fragrances can be around it because it's violent. And speaking of violence, the final fragrance on our list today could get me killed. It's big beard business, but it could get me, well, I'll introduce some people to big bang business. The fragrance that I'm talking about comes from the House of Dangerous, I guess? No, I don't know what the house is. It's a Boosie fragrance, okay? And the Boosie fragrance is Dangerous by Boosie Badass. Now, I did a review on this fragrance, and this fragrance would have been gone. I would have already gotten away with this fragrance. Like, these fragrances here are safe compared to this fragrance. And the only reason why I didn't get rid of this fragrance is because they said I was lying. And I said, bro, I don't got to lie to you, or you, or you, or you. I don't have to lie to you. I make money. I'm good, baby. And I don't want a refund. Okay. All right. This scent here smelled good. All right. I said it smelled good for what it was. I risked my life for you to smell this fragrance because on the inside here, a lot of particles, man. There's like bugs and baby bugs and skin particles. I'm not sure, but it is not safe. This one is dangerous. I like Boosie, I like his music, I like what he did with Mo 3, but this shit right here should not be around. That's my thoughts and opinions, not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the masses. So those, my friends, are the 10 fragrances that I would get rid of today if I absolutely had to get rid of fragrances. But for sure, one fragrance I am getting rid of is this Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. All the details are listed down below. May the odds forever be in your favor. All right, before you get up out of here, hit the goddamn bell.